loving mother, a flame-eating father. Look up, cherish both her luminous love and caring, his wrath and cruelty.
This is the path I follow. Officer 1, ready for—
I have 2 guns, so double the accuracy. Starlight!
Stand— Huh? Is something the matter? Officer 148, Juyuan, ready. Ready for—
I have 2 guns, so double the accuracy.
My blade is already sharp.
Gotcha!
Awaken! Perfect teamwork!
There it is. Be gone!
It's my turn! Hey! Vanish! Erratic officer standing.
Starlight, it's time to shine!
Awaken! Right. Solid hit!
Things are about to get violent. Gotcha!
Vanish! Perfect teamwork!
There it is.
Vanish! Perfect teamwork! It's over.
Starlight,
Did you call me? Meow.
keep some for you.
Solid hit.
Flames fade, ashes remain.
Did you call me?
Officer.
Starlight, it's time to shine!
Dodge.
Vanish.
My turn!
Awaken. Perfect teamwork.
I'll help you win. Valente. Did you call me?
Good. Ready for nothing to.
Starlight, it's time to shine!
Vanish.
Look after the boars, Lucy.
Awaken. Perfect teamwork.
Gotcha now.
Vanish. My blade will be ready soon.
I have 2 guns, so double the accuracy.
I want to see the red scarf.
Sorry, everyone. I got here too late. Leave the rest to me. It doesn't matter how many cheating monsters show up.
Impressive, Deputy Chief. You're not gonna turn into a Bangladesh Susan.
Weak spot located. If only I had a bamboo for a sword. I'm about to join the fight too, and don't worry, Steve. Leave it to me.
Deputy Chief, Edna, she's coming!
The stick is about to strike him. We press on. Such provocations don't go unanswered. They're coming too.
You keep Edna, she's coming!
Good. You're not her.
This world is mine! Here, I can build countless times, but you can afford a single mistake!
My right hand.
Miyabi?
My right hand. I sprained it earlier, stopping the blade.
It was back then.
It'll lead to subtle changes in my movements. You've always looked after me, after all of us. You're the only one in this world who can capture it.
Thank you, Chief.
Impossible!
Checkmate.
How'd you manage to dodge? And you're going down with me!
You can go alone.
We're back! Nagi, you did it!
I can finally clock out.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Everyone's been light for so long. It's time to go back to being human.
Kevin, are you aware of the connect...
Didn't you write that?
changed our route so many times, but they're still hot on our heels. Oh my God!
Let's go!
Focus on the road. I'll deal with them.
Whoa! Dude, you're trying way too hard!
Billy! Keep it steady! You're sticking claws off!
They're changing formation.
Where's Nicole's backup?
Boxing me in.
I've got you now!
Eat my dust.
Piper, up ahead!
Take this!
What happened?
The spot I fell on still hurts quite a bit. Moving through the hollow in my physical body is so uncomfortable.
Leave any fighting to
There's
me.
a hollow observation.
You just
data
go at
pile
your own
ahead.
pace.
We can determine the way forward. Great. We have the data on the surrounding hollow. But this isn't enough to calculate an escape route. We'll need to find more data. Thanks to you, Miss Hoshimi. We haven't had any trouble along the way. But something just doesn't feel right. The ether activity nearby seems to be increasing.
Your intuition might be right, Proxy.
Miss Hoshimi, is something wrong? The mechanism ahead should open the door. Leave it to me.
There are enemies ahead. I'll take care of it. You can just hide for now.
There's a hollow observation data pile ahead. But collecting the data will take some time. Miss Hoshimi, watch out for the ether.
Understood. You focus on processing the data. Leave the rest to me.
Open the diffuser. We'll be safe below it. authorization now. We can stop the ether current.
Nicely done. Now we can go all out.
Amazing.
How's it looking?
I've already got some usable exit routes. The nearest one is... What's wrong? What's happening?
Tailless is trying to break free. What?
Miss Soshimi! Miss Soshimi! What should I do? We seal it with the scabbard? Miyabi!
Hold it steady! Almost there!
Is it sealed? The smart data structure of this blade looks really familiar. Strange. It's like a labyrinth of hollow observation data. Is it meant to trap something inside the scabbard?
So, do you have a way to fix it?
I'll need to borrow the data pile's computing power again. There's a shortcut up ahead. Let's go. Defense mechanism. Is this the enemy's handiwork? I'll try shutting it off.
Okay. Be careful.
Strange. The defense mechanism is still running. Sub-control units A and B aren't responding. We'll have to find them. Miss Soshimi, there are 2 control terminals inside. Could you look for them?
Okay, I'll go take a look.
We've got enemies approaching. Be careful, Miss Soshimi. Miss Soshimi, I have a theory about your blade.
Go on.
Its internal data structure resembles a maze-solving algorithm.
Is this the device we're looking for?
Sub-control unit A is dealt with. We might be able to use hollow observation data to optimize it. We've got 1 more to go. Anyway, let's find the remaining observation data first. It should be nearby. Control permissions have been granted. We can turn off the mechanism now.
Proxy, you said there's a way to fix my blade?
Not necessarily fix it. More like an emergency adjustment. We'll use the information in the data pile to optimize the internal system. We can give it a try when we find the next data pile.
All right. That doesn't conflict with our final objective. Thank you.
Seems trouble's caught up with us again. The last observation data
Not a
pile
problem
should be
with me
nearby.
here.
Once we find it, we can try adjusting your blood. The last hollow observation
I
data
trust you,
should be
Proxy.
restored. I'll use it to adjust the scabbard first, and then I'll find a way out. Great. It's open. Don't worry, Miss Ushimi. I'll do my best. I didn't expect an alarm.
Okay. I'll leave it to you.
Should do it. Yabi, take the blade.
Thank you. Leave the enemies to me. You go hide. My blade seems to be working as normal. You can come out now, Proxy. Proxy?
Wolfie Alpha! Wolfie Alpha! Wolfie Alpha! Wolfie! Phenomenal! Wolfie Alpha! Wolfie Alpha! Wolfie Alpha! Wolfie Alpha! Wolfie Alpha! Wolfie Alpha! Incinerate Wolf Spirit Flash! Powered up! Wolfie Alpha! Phenomenal! Wolfie Alpha! Wolfie Alpha! Powered up! Incinerate! 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 Necross! Incinerate! Necross! Incinerate! Necross! Wolfie Alpha! Incinerate! Necross! Incinerate! Necross! 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 Incinerate! 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 Wolfie! Incinerate! Necross! Incinerate! Necross! Incinerate! Wolfie! Incinerate! Necross! Incinerate! Incinerate! Necross! Incinerate! Necross! Wolfie! Incinerate! Necross! Incinerate! Necross! Wolfie! Incinerate! 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 Alpha! Incinerate! 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 Wolfie Alpha! Wolfie Alpha! Wolfie Alpha! Wolfie Alpha! Wolfie Alpha! Wolfie Alpha! Incinerate! Wolfie Alpha! Wolfie Alpha! This is the courage of a wolf! Lunar Cyclone! It's morphin' time!
Hey everyone, I guess I'll hop on the mic for a little bit. I don't really want to go into detail too much, but I had a very bad trauma dream this morning, and then I had an anxiety attack a few hours ago, so I'm really not feeling too great. And when I feel like that, I tend to not want to be on the mic, because all the problems I have gives me a very low frustration threshold, and most people are very understanding, but there have been some jerks that have come in and they don't understand it. So sometimes when I feel like this, it's better to just not be on the mic and just let the gameplay speak for itself. But I feel a little bit better now, so I might pop on and off the mic throughout the stream. I'll see how I feel, but thanks for understanding. I know people like the commentary, but I haven't been in the best mental state today, or just in general. My mind's really hard on me, and the holidays make it worse, so yeah, it's not easy. Anyway, checking out some combo trials for this. Change the subject. This is a, not aware, this is a mod. Somebody made an entire combo trial mod for this game. And it doesn't get you banned or anything. Well, no one really plays this anymore, but it definitely adds a new dynamic to this game, because combo system in this game is one of the best freeform combo systems, especially with how it prevents you from doing infinites and stuff. It takes a lot of effort to do long combos in this game, despite the execution being easy to get into. So it's kind of cool that they have this. I mean, competitively, this game's kind of dead. It's been dead since you know, they stopped updating it. But it's a really fun combo game. This game is on sale right now for $10 with all DLC. So they put out like, I don't know, a dozen or so characters. I think it's more than that actually. It's probably closer to 15. So if you want a combo game to play and you're tired of you know, getting balance patches every week like Mortal Kombat and Tekken, you might like this game. It's a really good fighting game, even if you're not into Toku. If you're into Toku, it's even better. But I think it stands on its own. It's just, don't expect there to be a lot of people still online. It's definitely a Discord fighter. It does have crossplay, so if you want to pick it up on other platforms and play with people you know, that's definitely a possibility too. I used to play this on Switch because the first version of this game was the Switch version, but the Switch version had some problems performance-wise that they never fixed, so I would not recommend getting it on Switch. I'd recommend just getting it on PC, especially if you have a Steam Deck. You can get like hours of battery life out of this game, so I might even gift a copy. I'm tempted to gift a copy because you guys have supported me so much this year. But I really like this game. Look, they got Gokai Yellow in this game. They got Gokai Yellow in this game, man. How cool is that? It doesn't matter what the Power Rangers name says, because they took a lot of inspiration from the Sentai, I could tell. From a lot of the Sentai seasons that these are based on. They took a lot of inspiration. I mean, most of the moves and stuff that they took as inspiration was all Sentai footage anyway. So, it was all Sentai footage. So, you know, in Japan they can't buy this game. This game is region locked. You can't buy it. You can't buy it in Japan because it's Power Rangers, not Super Sentai. They have to make an American account. They have to do what we do when the Kamen Rider game comes out. How am I doing today? Not great. Not great. I had the mic off. I've had the mic off for an hour because mine is really being hard on me today. So thanks for asking, but probably not going to get the answer you expect. Feeling a little bit better after streaming. Just had some difficulties today. Yeah, this is a combo trials mod. I didn't learn how to play everybody in this game. I learned a couple of the characters. It's kind of a dead game, but I still like playing it. That's what this channel is anyway. It's all games nobody cares about. Most of the time. There are some times where I play popular stuff, but for the most part it's shit nobody cares about. This game was definitely better than Dragon Ball FighterZ. Always was. Put a good 130 so hours into this game. Dragon Ball FighterZ lost interest really quick. wish they would keep updating this game. The mobile version has so many more characters. And like ones I really wanted in the roster for this, but clearly not happening at this point. Sad. This game's roster is definitely better than its competitors, for sure. You think about the competition for this game was Marvel Infinite and Dragon Ball FighterZ, and both of those rosters ended up worse. Dragon Ball FighterZ had like 800 Gokus and Vegetas, and then Marvel Infinite had no X-Men, and even the Capcom picks weren't that great. Felt like they were picked by how many of them they could recycle from the last game. It's always really understated when people complain about that game. Like, you know, the Capcom roster wasn't that great either. They brought back a lot of characters that, like, no one played. They did make them play better, but... you could tell that they just put them in to save money, because we found out that game has a pathetic budget. Nowhere near enough money that they needed to make it. That last link is pretty tough. Must be timing it wrong. Oh man. Wonder if you can do a EX after that. Does that build a whole bar? Curious. Damn. All that for one bar. I wonder if they have, like, do they have Megazord combos in here? No, they don't bother with those, huh? The base roster for this game was Trini, Ranger Slayer, Green Ranger, Draken, Mastodon Sentry, Deca Swan, Magna Defender, the Red Ranger, and Gokai Yellow were the first ones. And then they added the movie Blue Ranger, and then Maji Mother. First season, Yeah, Goldar as well. Goldar was in the base game. And they did season 2 was Jen, Deca Master, Kaoru Shiba. Actually, I think he was base game too. I don't remember. Quantum, Gold Ranger, and then Geiki Violet. Then the final characters was Candelira, Rita, Chun, Ryu, and Adam were the final characters. So they ended up with 26 characters, which isn't a lot, but considering that they're all unique, and they're all very fun to play, and there's a lot of team dynamics in this game, I think they ended pretty well. The best thing about this roster was that they didn't let the MMPR pandering ruin it. There's only 3 MMPR characters this whole roster. This doesn't count because it's from the comics. Neither does this. But like from the actual show, there's only 3 characters from Mighty Morphin. They had a lot of really nice picks. I'd argue he's probably the worst pick. Especially because it's not even the one from the movie. It's the one from the flashback in the movie. It's not even the cool Billy, the black Billy. It's the prehistoric one. That's like the only pick I kind of don't agree with. But he was a free character, so I guess you can look past it. But I really like that they had a lot of off-meta picks with the rosters. Somebody who's watched the vast majority of this does, that these characters are from. They didn't let it get like Dragon Ball Fighters. They just add like half the roster with Goku and Vegeta. You know, they have their MMPR characters, but for the most part, it was characters they thought were cool. You get to play as Scorpina. That's pretty awesome. Whoever thought that she was going to get added? You know, they put her in. Having Rita playable was really cool. And then the Capcom collab was awesome. It's really cool to see him in the game too, because he's not a popular character at all. But, you know, he fits for a fighting game. Same thing with this. The ninja was like half the season, and it was kind of a stupid power-up because they would still just turn into this after. But they made it. His moveset is so awesome in this game, and they even got Bosch back to voice him. It's a shame that they don't update the game anymore, but I think that they did a good job. This is one of the better licensed fighting game rosters I've ever seen. I'm not saying this because I'm biased. Straight up is.
Not by a long shot.
Compare this to Marvel Infinite. Like, man, that roster is just yikes. It's a good game, but the roster's buns. She doesn't count either because she's from the comics. Oh wow, I didn't buy that skin. This is pretty cool too. He was like my most wanted ad, and they put him in. To tell that the developers actually knew what they were doing. It's like, he's perfect for a fighting game, but he's not a popular character. Because he comes from way past the prime of Power Rangers. But he was great for a fighting game. Same thing with him, I would say. This was the tail end of the Los Angeles era. But it worked out because his voice actor is Virgil, and he's one of the cooler Six Rangers. He's not entirely a popular character either. He's more popular than him, but this was the last season, the second to last season before they moved production out of California. Yeah. Just look at the look at the mobile games roster and I just want to cry. Like, why can't the fighting game have those characters? Like, come back, please. Or make a sequel. Not gonna happen, though. Yeah, that roster is very underrated. I think they did a good job of having a couple nostalgia bait characters, but then, like, actually having interesting ads that aren't gonna, like, sell tons of copies, but they fit for a fighting game. And I think that's really special. Isn't that the complaint with Tekken 8 right now, that they added Clive instead of Tifa? People want Tifa and Kiryu, and they add Clive instead. Even though Clive actually... he doesn't fit as well as Tifa, but, I mean, Clive is doing air combos and stuff in his game. He fits more than others. People won't stop complaining about that. They want Tifa and Kiryu, and apparently Bamco doesn't want to do either. I think Kiryu's kind of more of a no-brainer. Kiryu basically is a Tekken character, especially Gaiden Kiryu, who actually does have juggles and launchers and stuff. Maybe he's coming next. Gotta give people one of the things they want. If you won't do Tifa, you gotta do Kiryu at least.
Ah, 規則正しい生活だと人は錆びちまうぜ。つまんねえな。でもまあ。
南と
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this later. I'm gonna have to log back on do the fatigue dungeon. For anyone who's watching, what would you like to see? I can do PS2 games, which would be Tales of Rebirth or Crimson Tears. Or what's the other choice? Those are the main choices. If you guys want to see that, go ahead and speak up if you want. Otherwise, I might play like one more game tonight. I am very drained mentally. I shouldn't push it. I wanted to do East 10 New Game Plus, but then they just announced another version, so I don't know if I even really want to play that anymore. Soon as they finally localize East 10 for us, the Japan side just announces another one. Like, cool, do I have to spend another $60 and wait 2 years, or what? That's whack, man. I'm going to assume it's going to be like a Switch 2 launch title. Switch 2 launch is probably going to be a lot like PS4, where it's like mostly remasters, a couple first-party games, then maybe a couple like decent-sized third-party games will be ready, but other than that, it's probably going to be pretty barren. So I'm thinking that's what the East 10 upgrade pack is. Probably just a Switch 2 shelf filler. I mean, my main criticisms about East 10 was the fact that the endgame content was very light. If they fix that, I could see it being worth buying. The endgame content in that game is basically just a couple bosses, and that's it. The ship as well. The ship actually grows on you. The ship is actually pretty fun, but you have to grind for it, and then it doesn't carry over to New Game Plus. Those are the two things they needed to fix, in my opinion. The rest of the game was fine. I had no real issues with it other than that. The ship is fun, but by the time it gets fun, the game is over. Which kind of goes into the other problem with the game, is the end game content is very light. There's not much. And the New Game Plus... The New Game Plus takes away stuff that it shouldn't. The ship is miserable at the start, and that's the problem, is the ship is no fun to use at the start. I put up a video of endgame ship combat, like, last month, if you want to see what it looks like. It's actually pretty fun. But by that point, there's no game left. If you decide to play it again, well, you're back to the slow, crappy ship that can shoot like once an hour and goes mega slow. I don't understand that reasoning. That's definitely something they need to fix. Just let me carry over everything from the ship. If I do the grind once, I shouldn't have to do it again, and it would make the game a lot more fun. The only thing they'd really have to do is just not let you carry over like the shield and stuff that you get, and the one that lets you go through the thick water. I forget what it's called, but they're like key items. It's like, don't let you carry those over so you don't like break the progression. But other than that, that's totally what they should do. And then it needs endgame content. I think the worst thing about it is like the endgame content is pretty much just playing again. But the game is already balanced that you can do it on the hardest difficulty, which is a good thing, but that's really all there is. The endgame content in that game took me like a couple hours to go through on a blind playthrough. I don't really think they need to add too much else to it. It felt like a pretty complete game, and it didn't overstay its welcome, but it had those few problems. Just, there wasn't really a whole lot to do. It ran out of things to do really quick, and like the trophies are really grindy and unfun. So I didn't bother with those. I got like 70% of them. The rest were mega grindy and not in a fun way. It just felt like grinding for the sake of grinding. You know how some games are, where Tales games are notorious for this. Like, you've already seen all the content in the game, but the trophy is like, do this 500 times. The East trophies are like that. East 10 trophies. And like, I've already beaten the hardest boss. I've done every side quest. I've fully explored the world. There's nothing left. But then the trophies want you to grind. It's like, nah, those are the kind of trophies I don't go for. If I see everything in the game, or at least everything that's fun to do, I'm pretty content with that, personally. I don't need more. It doesn't need a remake. the replay value needs to be improved. That's the main thing that's wrong with the game, is the replay value is weak. The endgame boss is just that big monster, that big like darkness monster that's on the island. That's like all the endgame content there is. And there's just like not much else. Ys has always been weird like that, though. They're definitely getting the hang of doing New Game Plus. Ys 7 was like the same thing, right? They had all that stuff you could grind for, but then like all there is to use it on is the last boss. They just haven't gotten that right. It's good that they have New Game Plus now, but there's just so little to use it on. It's like, you know, if you're... Unless you're like really strapped for a game to play and you don't have money for a new one, or whatever you're looking forward to isn't out yet, it's like one playthrough in that game is enough. There just isn't enough there to really go through it again. Why does it need a remake? It just needs some minor things to improve it. Which is probably what they're doing anyway. It seems like what they're doing already. It's definitely going to be really bad if they like don't give us that upgrade and then they don't let you carry over the ship. That's actively the worst thing about that game. I'm like, do you guys even play your own game? Why the hell can I not carry over the ship progression? Makes no sense. Like anybody that like actually played the game on the dev team, like somebody had to have said something. Like, come on, man, this is basic stuff. I heard of Overriders getting an update. I haven't talked to the developer in like a week. Or earlier this month when I came back from vacation. But he said that they're preparing a mega update, like a major update for the summer sale or the spring sale, I think. So yeah, you can play the game now and you can grind up your characters, but yeah, it only takes like 5-6 hours to see everything. So if you like the game, you can still play it. You'll probably steamroll through the content and get to the new stuff quick, but yeah, it's I think it's got good content for new game for early access. I play a lot of roguelikes, especially early access ones, and that one's got a pretty nice gameplay loop where there's stuff to grind for, even if there's not much content. And I've played a lot of early access roguelikes where you do everything in like 2 hours, and then you're just waiting for them to add more stuff. I haven't finished the grind yet. I kind of took a break from the game because I didn't want to get burnt out. And I'm supposed to be helping them beta test. But, I got like 20 plus hours out of that game. Yeah, the meta progression maxed. Wow, you really like the game, huh? Did you buy it because of me? Or did you buy it on your own? Did you buy it because of my content? I told them to like not sponsor anybody until they have more content. They want to sponsor me, but I told them they shouldn't sponsor until they have more stuff, because that's a mistake that was made very recently with the Rogue Prince of Persia. They sponsored people to play that game and it had like 2 hours of content. It was a really bad idea. I get that they wanted their like launch for that game to, you know, have eyes on it, but that game was just like, it was too early access. It had like a couple sittings of gameplay tops, and there was nothing else to do. So I told them, like, yeah, you shouldn't sponsor now. You shouldn't sponsor people until you've got more content. It seems like that's what they're doing. They're working on new stuff. I haven't heard anything. I haven't talked to him in a while. He said he would contact me when there's something to beta test, so you'll know You'll know when I know. And right now, I don't know anything other than what I've told you. Now everything's going to get compared to Hades 2, which had... that game already has enough content and early access, even before they did the update. It has dozens of hours of content, even though most of it is grinding. And now everything's going to get compared to that. So like, you don't really want to sponsor people until you've got a good amount of content. You don't want somebody to go through like all the content in one stream. That's what happened with Rogue Prince of Persia. That game's like way better now. But at launch, the price to content was not great. Price to content ratio was pretty low. Relatively high priced, and then just didn't have much of a gameplay loop. The boss-looking character? No, he's not in the game. He's not in the game currently. I asked the developer about that. Well, I'm glad you liked the game. Yeah, that's one of the better roguelikes I played this year. I played a lot. I'd say that and BlazBlue Entropy Effect are probably the best ones this year. If you got 30 hours out of the game for $10, that's pretty impressive for a small game like that. that's better than that's better than a lot of other games for sure. A lot of these roguelikes in early access, they launch with like just no content. And then they sponsor people to do it like as soon as they put the game out. And it's like, you shouldn't do that. You should wait until there's something. So it seems like they're approaching it in the right way. They do want to sponsor me, but due to the country that they live in, I don't know if that's going to happen. Whoa, what's this? Freedom Wars Remastered. I never played the original. This is one of the few big Vita games I never played. I never played this game. I played like pretty much all the other big Vita games. But this one I never played. I heard it was pretty good. I'm glad it's released from the Vita. Purgatory is overtuned, yeah, I agree. What was wrong with the balancing? What was wrong with the balancing? Just tell me. Overhauled weapon crafting system. Maybe that will help. Yeah, I didn't play this game. I just never got around to buying it. I had everything else. Yeah, Purgatory is just... I don't want to say it's boring because the gameplay is still fun, but the pacing just kind of drops off a cliff. Which, I mean, can kind of go into a beat 'em up being boring. A good example of that is, have you ever guys heard of The Takeover? The Takeover is that indie beat 'em up that came out a couple years back. And, like, it wasn't a terrible game, but the pacing was bad. The first level was like 10 minutes long. I'm like, by that point in like Final Fight or a Streets of Rage game, I'm already like 30% through. like even Streets of Rage 2 with no running is like better paced than that game. The first level was like 10-15 minutes and also had like auto-scroller barrels coming at you. It's like the game was okay. It definitely wasn't legendary. I mean, if you want to buy that game now, I'll be like, there's better games you can get for the same price. But the pacing was terrible. That's kind of the problem with Overrider. If you play past the hard difficulty, everything has too much health. It's very mentally and physically exhausting, and like the rewards aren't worth it. But that's something that they will tune. I already told them that the Purgatory, actually, he was in my stream. One of the last times I streamed that game, which was before I went on my short weekend vacation at the beginning of the month, he said that it was a little bit overtuned. I'm like, yeah, it kind of is. It's a mostly fair challenge, but it's just the pacing is just bad. It's any roguelike being over like 40 minutes long is kind of pushing it in my opinion. The human enemies were so fast, and a lot of times your AI companions would get wrecked. Yeah, I'll have to look up some gameplay of it. I'm also kind of skeptical if it's actually a good port, too. Yeah, I don't have any nostalgia for it. I played, like, almost every other big Vita game. You know, I had Dragon's Crown, I had all the Muso games, I had Odin Sphere, both Tales games. Like, I played most of the stuff on there, the God Eater games, too. I played most of the, like, bigger budget, you know, exclusive games on Vita, but I just never played Freedom Wars. Soul Sacrifice I never played either. Alright, let's see, I feel like doing anything else tonight. I'm feeling a little bit better mentally and physically, but I had a really bad breakdown a couple hours ago, so I'm not really wanting to do any tech support. And just turn on something and play. That's about the extent of my mental stamina right now. But if anything goes wrong, it's probably better that I don't do anything. We'll go back on Zenless for a little bit, and then I'll see if I feel like doing some PS2 games. Other than that, I'm done for tonight. Hold on. I'm not buying that blind, then. I'm not buying that blind. I'll pass. Thank you for your recommendation. Reverse recommendation. I kind of heard that it was, kind of heard that it was not as good as it should be. I remember hearing that, but I never played it myself. Yeah, I'll ask them. I'll be sure to relay your feedback. I might play some of that later today on the Christmas stream.
It's my turn!
All right.
Here I come!
There it is.
Freedom Wars is also too close to Graces and Origins, so that's like the main reason. Pretty sure I don't have time to play that and Origins and then Graces like within a week of each other. It also has to be a good port as well. Maybe people will like mod it or something. I don't know. Oh, so it's like old school Monster Hunter, where there was no right analog stick. That was one of the biggest things that made me not want to ever play Monster Hunter. I have some real life friends that are like obsessed with Monster Hunter. I couldn't get past having no right analog stick. It felt really bad. The Vita had a right analog stick, but it was missing 2 trigger buttons, and certain games would map stuff to the back touchpad, which was not a replacement for an actual button.
Leave everything to me!
Remember, Memories of Celceta, they tied the zoom feature to the back touchpad, and it was, like, unusable. Like, really bad. Like, man, why even have the zoom feature at that point if you're gonna tie it to something that barely works? The back touchpad was like the worst gimmick on the Vita. It served like no purpose. And like they could have made it just a little bit bigger and just had full button parity, but it really hurt certain games. Because there were a couple really like relatively perfect ports on there. Like for instance, Dragon's Crown. The Dragon's Crown port was great. It wasn't good for endgame. He tried to do endgame on Dragon's Crown Vita with like sorcerers or wizards in the party. It was mega choppy, but Most people didn't get that far anyway, so I'd argue it was a pretty good port. There definitely were certain games where they didn't have button parity, so they would put stuff on the back touchpad, which was garbage. Same problem as Tales of the Rays. Like, a touchscreen just can't replace an actual button. Even, you know, touchscreen buttons would have helped. But instead you got, you had to do everything on the touchscreen in that game, and there were no, like, even virtual buttons. They did pretty good with what they had, but it definitely felt like it was limiting the game the entire time.
The lunch is on you. Good.
Is it time to clock out? Need something? Go ask my—
Standing, huh? Is something the matter?
Well, they probably will do the Vita games eventually. I just think those games need improvements. Especially Innocence R. Innocence R is like one of the best combat systems in the entire franchise, but you only have 8 art slots, so it directly conflicts itself. It conflicts itself because it's like you have such an awesome combat system, one of the best battle systems they've ever done, but then you only have 8 slots. So you're fighting with that more than like actually playing the game. That's definitely something they need to fix. I'm very disappointed that Grace's remaster does also not fix that problem. The game was already very limiting with the art tree system, but then you only had 4 B-style slots, so you always felt like very limited in that game too. They definitely added a lot of nice stuff. I'm not sure how I feel about letting you access the grade shop right away. It feels like people are going to be too tempted to just go in there and get stuff, but then on the other hand, the title grind in that game is so bad. I can definitely see it having some benefits, but it was the same problem with the Vesperia remaster. They gave you all the DLC for free, and it's like, on one hand, it's nice that it was there. I personally used it because I already played the game to death when it was on 360, but I think a lot of people missed out on like how the game is actually supposed to be played because they just give you that. But the other options look really nice. But yeah, getting all the titles and stuff for that game was so grindy. I think the grade shop will just have to be treated like, not credit feeding when you buy an arcade game. You know how people would always do that? They would buy like a Dreamcast game and complain that you can just keep continuing. It's like, well, then don't continue. I definitely think people are going to have some self-control. And like, don't just buy everything from the Great Shop because it's going to ruin your first playthrough. But on the other hand, it will reduce the grinding a bit. And it'll also make it easier for people to get their stuff back because, you know, people have played the game on emulator recently and it wasn't ever thought that it was going to get a remaster. So having the Great Shop and the pay-to-win bonuses be free will help, I think. But you're definitely going to have to exercise caution if you want to actually, like, play it as intended. I don't want them to bring back Innocence Art unless they're going to add an arts ball. Obviously, they need to uncap the frame rate, but they also need to add an arts ball. Uncapping the frame rate is not enough. 8 slots is so limiting in that game. It's insane how much it's limiting. It kind of sabotages the combat in a way. The combat is so good and, like, pretty much everybody, besides the main character, is like really fun to play, which is pretty rare in Tales games too. Usually it's like the protagonist and then like whoever their closest friend is. That's not the female lead. It's like usually the one that's the most fun to play. But like the movesets in that game were great. I actually like whenever I play that game, I like never play as Ruka. I play as Spada and Hermana most of the time. Moveset quality in that game is very understated.
Things are about to get violent.
Play a Tales game, you kind of just expect the main guy to be like the most overpowered and most fun to play, and everybody else is worse. Like in Innocence Art, movesets were great for everybody. Except for, I'd say Ricardo. Ricardo's kind of back, but...
Vanish. Perfect teamwork.
Honestly, the original version was pretty terrible. The original version of the game was not great. The level design was horrible, and so were the graphics. I really didn't like the DS. I was more of a PSP guy, personally. PSP just had better looking games and a better variety of games, and the hardware was so much better. So the kinds of games you could have on there was more varied. The DS was like going back to crappy N64 and PS1 graphics, but portable. And that was like the main gimmick. Like the main thing that they had on it was, look, you can play your N64 on the go. I'm like, I don't really want to go back to those graphics. Those were like the worst video game graphics, in my opinion. The DS had some awesome games, but I mostly played pixel art games on it. Played like Tales of Hearts and stuff. I thought the 3D games looked awful.
If you won't open up, I've no choice but to do it myself.
Wait, hold on!
Please cooperate.
Hold it. Huh?
We have new orders. More manpower is needed to increase our street patrols. The special response team will take over 6th Street's inspection from here. Good work today, officers. The street patrol supervisor is expecting you. Be sure not to keep him waiting.
Innocence DS just has terrible, terrible level design. The level design is so bad. The dungeons are some of the worst they've ever done. It's definitely not, you know, like Final Fantasy VII, where like the remake is, what's the word for it? The remake is up for debate. My brain's not working right. Like, some people still like the original. I'm like, with that game, with Innocence, nah, man, the remake is better in every way. Even if it's very obvious that it was supposed to be a PSP game, and they kind of turned it into a Vita game overnight, it's still objectively better remake. There's not really a lot of reason to play the original. It's one of those remakes that's straight up better, which is pretty rare.
Okay, application approved.
Thank you, Qingyi.
Before we get into... As you know, manager, I have a good relationship with... It said...
It's a set of standard information code.
Worried that you might be in danger, Juyu and...
Thank you for looking out for us and...
Save the thanks for after you've given me a proper explanation. I'm going to handle this by the book.
Allow me to...
Huh?
It's been a while, Juyu.
Allow me to sum this up. That's in the manager's...
Sorry, it's true. We're proxies. Julian?
Truth be told, I had my doubts about the manager's identity.
I didn't believe it. I was too bad.
Julian, I'm so sorry.
Enough. Let's focus on the main issue. You do realize you're leveling serious, and you don't have the key but the leader of maybe I'm a fool who.
So...
I'm not going to escalate this to my superiors until.
Thank you, Julian.
Don't thank me just yet.
The only reason I'm doing this is I think you get
shows you're lying.
Points for this.
Like I said, I'm not proxies.
The mercenaries' rendezvous point is just up ahead. Perhaps we can get info on Pearlman there. Careful.
There's a lot of enemies
There's a mechanism nearby.
Be careful.
There are mercenaries everywhere. There's more enemies than I expected.
Being this heavily guarded, it must mean Pearlman.
DS had great games, but I definitely think it was worse than the PSP. Hardware was a very limiting factor.
Watch out for any ambushes ahead. They really think we'd fall for that?
Let's give them a chance to play well-deserved punishment. This should be the building's central area. It will likely be heavily defended. The enemy's attacks are getting more intense.
They're not very tough, though, so they go down easy.
Good. Huh? Chief, are you hurt? My training.
No, with the DS it was.
My previous record in under
It was a huge difference. Keep in mind, back then they had actual handheld competition. They don't anymore.
Here too.
PSP hardware completely destroyed the DS in every way, which mattered a lot more back then because it was like you got like a little bit below PS2 graphics on PSP, so there were more games that could be made on there. DS was crappy N64 graphics.
Wise, the rendezvous point is just up
It was
ahead.
a lot weaker. Now they don't have competition, that's why it doesn't matter anymore.
The spatial fissure is right over here. We need to find Pearlman quickly.
The enemy is all bark and no fight. Are they even trying? I'm out here working hard, so why do they get to slack off?
Please do when you be arguing in a place like this. Leave everything to me. Huh?
Gotcha now. Let's off.
The mercenaries' rendezvous point is just up ahead.
Why is no one on guard? This feels...
Access granted. Good, that's it.
Proxy, what's that warning sound?
Military-grade ammonium nitrate explosives?
The permission request was linked to the
Inside the building.
I like how they killed all the emulators for the Switch without, like, realizing the main problem. The reason why people emulate it is because the phone can do it. You have crap hardware. The phone can run the games better. I've done it myself. Now, granted, for 3D games, yes, unless you have a top-of-the-line content creator phone or something, it's not going to run much better than the Switch, but it still can run the majority of, like, the 2D games and stuff better. You know, it would be a lot harder to pirate if the hardware was better, right? Look at the PS4 emulation, Shad PS4. The only thing people really want to play on there is Bloodborne. And, like, you try to run Bloodborne on a Steam Deck, it's, like, about the same level as playing on PS4. Because it's emulating a much more powerful hardware.
What do you want from me?
I want to know, was it really necessary to kill all the emulators? It's going to be a lot harder to run Switch 2 emulation just by default. It's not going to be something the average phone's going to be able to do.
There's a risk of explosions nearby. We have to get out of here.
Ah! Help! I don't want to die!
Quit being difficult, old man. If I fall down, we're done for.
There should be a spatial fissure nearby. We can use it as a shortcut to save time.
Proxy, is this the way out of the hollow? Vanish! I'm not a loser!
There's no Come on, let's get out of here!
Blade is already sheathed.
Chief Hoshimi Miyabi, U.S.
Well, they make games people want to play, but the hardware is terrible, and they're a very anti-consumer company. Me, personally, I haven't really done anything with my Switch for the most part, ever since I got a Steam Deck. And I actually have dumped games. I have dumped games and had them running better on Steam Deck than on the Switch. It's pretty bad. I think the DS was worse, though, because back then they actually had competition. Sony was trying to compete. It was the same thing with the Vita as well. There were a lot more different types of games on Vita. They didn't even bother trying to port them to 3DS because it couldn't handle it. The DS was the same. That's when their choice of having crap hardware really started to come back and bite them. Is like the Vita definitely had a lot of great games. I mean, they obviously lost to Nintendo. I'm not going to sound like they didn't, but it had games you couldn't get. You couldn't get those kinds of games on DS. So I think that was definitely a big factor for me why I didn't have a 3DS. All the kinds of games I like to play were not on 3DS. Like the Musou games and beat-em-ups and like melee action games and stuff, there were like barely any on the 3DS. I never once felt like I was missing out by not having one. The DS was different. The DS did have a couple games I like playing. The Castlevania games mainly were like the main ones. There were a couple others, but for the most part, I was all in on PSP. So the World Legends work for you? No, it stopped working. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it they did that hotfix a couple weeks ago, and or like a week or two ago, and it stopped working. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It used to work for me just fine, but it stopped. I don't know what their stance is on playing on Steam Deck. They might be anal about that, but yeah, it doesn't work anymore, and I can't sync my save anymore because I can't log in. So the game's like bricked for me. I can't play it anymore. Really sucks. Who knows what their official stance is, because like with a lot of online games, the thing you have to understand with the Steam Deck is that they won't officially support it, but they won't ban you. A good example of is this game. There's people that play this on Steam Deck. It's actually a really shitty experience, at least when I played this at launch, because when this game launched, my computer was in the shop, and there's the only way I could try the game, and like, it works. No one's been banned for it, but they're not going to officially support it. Like, if you talk to them in their Discord or something, they'll be like, oh, it's not officially supported. Which means that, like, they're not gonna optimize the game for Deck, but they won't ban you either. Like, I play PGR. I play PGR on Steam Deck every day at my caregiving job. And, like, it pops up with this, like, terrifying-looking error screen in Chinese, but I haven't been banned. I've been playing on there for months. And even if something like that was to happen, they would tell that you're, like, not cheating and that you spent however much money on the game. So, that's probably what it is. They may have actually banned people from playing on Steam Deck, but I kind of doubt it because it's really hard to cheat on Steam Deck as it is. Getting Cheat Engine to work on Steam Deck is a nightmare. And anybody that was doing that would not be doing it on that game. But that tends to be how it goes with online games. Very few of them actually support Steam Deck, but almost none of them will ban it outright. The only one that does is Fortnite. Like, pretty much all the big games, the big gacha games right now, like this, Genshin, Star Rail, Honkai Impact, PGR, Wuthering Waves, like, they all work. You have to fight with it a little bit, but they all work fine. So, I guess it's just a matter of somebody needs to bring it up to them. I talked about it in their Discord, but I didn't get any response. But yeah, something fucked it up. I haven't the slightest idea what. But them banning support for Steam Deck is highly unlikely. Because I play a lot of online games on my deck when I'm out. You know, I did my dailies on PGR at Aethergazer. I was gone for 4 days. I did my dailies and stuff. Nothing happens. I did it on the train, even. But somebody has to fix something, and who knows if they're even aware, or if they even want to acknowledge it. You know, they say that about Wuthering Waves and stuff as well. It's not officially supported, but, like, they're not going to ban you for it. Because they know that there's the people that are playing, like, this game and other stuff on Steam Deck. They're either, like, they don't have a gaming PC, they don't have a PS5, or they're like me and they're away from home on a regular basis with Wi-Fi. And they know that those people are spending money. Like for instance, they go into the microtransaction shop here. I'm not going to buy anything, but say I bought this right now, it it works on Steam Deck. It works. Like, you can spend money and it goes through. And I'm sure that's part of the reason why they just kind of... they're hands-off about it. Like, they won't actually say, like, hey, you know... we're officially supporting Steam Deck. What they'll do instead is they'll say it's not officially supported, but nothing's gonna happen. Anybody who says that has not actually, used it. I can tell you that from experience. Companies are smart enough to realize there's people spending money, just paying customers that are playing on deck. But Otherworld Legends is like such a small game, so hopefully they will fix it eventually.
Cheesetopia is open for business. Let's try to have another great...
Oh, I don't feel like doing this. Thought it was going to be like a combat minigame.
Let's try to have another
I'll
great
pass.
day today.
Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I refuse. I'm only playing this on the side anyway, so... I don't really care about getting every little piece of currency. Something to play, because all my main gacha games are on life support right now. Patches on PGR and Aethergazer are very boring right now. There's not much to do, and I already got the characters and the weapons and stuff, so it's kind of boring. I don't know if I'll stick with this game. I might drop it again, but until Origins and stuff comes out, I'll probably still stick with this for a little bit. Anyway, I think that's probably going to do it for tonight. How does the stream quality look when I'm playing that game? Because the optimization is really bad. It it stutters a lot when I have it above 60 FPS. How does it look when I'm playing that game? Because what you guys are actually seeing is this. You're seeing lossless scaling. But, like, you guys can't tell the difference because, you know, the stream is only 60 FPS. But, like, if I play, like, Tales of Hearts R right now, you'll see the difference. You have to stream lossless scaling in a very specific way, otherwise it doesn't work. It looked fine? Oh, that's good to know. But yeah. It's hard to stream the generated frames. You have to do it in a very specific way. So that's kind of what I was testing out tonight. I don't know if I'll stick with that game. I might. It's like my other gachas I like barely play at home anymore. So just like I was saying, I play PGR and Aethergazer at my caregiving job. I very rarely play it here anymore. I just play it over there. And like I said, you go on their Discord, they'll say it's not officially supported, but then you look at people in there, they're like very clearly posting photos of them playing the games on Steam Deck, and like nobody gets banned. That's kind of an old wives' tale. They don't do that. The only instance I know of people getting banned for playing a game with anti-cheat on Steam Deck is pretty much just Fortnite, but Fortnite doesn't even really count, because with Fortnite, they just ban Linux entirely. So, like, it's not actually that it's on Steam Deck. It's not actually that they're banning Steam Deck players, it's just that they don't want to support Linux. But yeah, if you have a Steam Deck, you want to play PGR, Aethergazer, pretty much any of those big online games, the gacha games, the PC ports, once you install them, they work fine. I think another good proof of this theory is that I'm partnered with Aethergazer, meaning that they give me in-game currency for making videos. And in the video I sent them, I talked about playing it on Steam Deck. And like clearly they watched it because they accepted me into the program. So that should tell you everything everything you need to know right there. Like, they're not going to go out of their way to support it, but they're not going to ban you either. So with Otherworld Legends, it's probably just nobody's actually looked at it, and they broke the compatibility somehow, and because there's not enough people playing on there, they're not aware. But, yeah, there's your little lesson for today. It would be really funny if they banned people, because, like, barely anybody plays the Steam version. I think that would be, like, the most backwards thing they could do, but, again, extremely unlikely. I would be shocked if they actually did that. Alright, we're going to do one more thing tonight, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. My mind has not been very kind to me today, so I kind of want to take it easy.
大切なことだからちゃんと読んどいてね。
ナムコ。
ナムコ。
ナムコ。Alright, let me know how this looks, guys, and I'm probably gonna go to bed. No, it's done this before. I don't know why it does that. There we go. Whoa. What's going on? What happened? Maybe I need to get into gameplay first. Hold on. It's also having a bad brain day. Let's try again.
注意事項をよく読んでね。僕との約束だよ。
ナムコ。
ナムコ。
What is going on with this? It's not wanting to load to save. Might have to go download a save for this. Did my save get torched? What the hell happened? I haven't played this in a while and change anything. What gives? Why is this having such a hard time loading a save?
大事なことキュキュでもわかる。ナムコ。
What gives, man? I can't load my save. What? Better not have torched my saves. Oh man, I really was trying to avoid tech support today. It gets me frustrated. Damn it, man. I did like everything in that game. Fuck. Let's try Heartsar. Okay, something's seriously wrong here. It's not loading my saves. What the hell? It's like the save menu doesn't work. They like never add anything worth a damn to this emulator. They've been doing like mostly bug fixes for like a year. But like stuff like this breaks. Like why? I can't fathom what's wrong. I can't load saves anymore. I click yes and nothing happens. Let me look this up. Starting to piss me off. I don't know how much patience I've got for this tonight. They update and don't add anything. Make it worse. Oh, come on. I can't find anything. There's nothing on their Discord. I think the update just completely broke. What the hell did they do? Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, this is making me mad. Problem I have with this emulator is they keep updating the Android one, and I'm like, I don't really care about the Android one. Let me see if I can fix this. This is really bothering me. I'm not gonna be able to sleep well tonight unless I do this. Why is this thing tweaking out so much? Let me try Vulkan. Maybe that will fix it. This thing's having a freaking seizure, man. What's wrong with it? What is wrong with this emulator? Tweaking out hardcore. Playing with needles too much. Sticking a fork in the socket. What is wrong with this emulator? I'm pretty sure the saves can be recovered, but I don't know why this is freaking out so much. Let me show you guys what it's doing. This is what it's doing. It's like the save menu doesn't work. How many times are they going to update this thing? They update it like every day. And they don't fix stuff like this. Alright, can you work, please? Yes! What the fuck is wrong with it? Yes, load! Man, I really wanted to play these again. It's just like not working. So those are the only games I really have on here too, so... Yes, debug. Fix your broken emulator. Fix your shit, please. I'm looking on their Discord. I have no idea how to fix this. This makes absolutely no sense. Like, why is the save feature not working anymore? It's like the most basic thing just stopped working. Why does it do that? How do I, like, downgrade and get back to the one that worked? I can't find anything in here that's helping. Useless Discord. It's all Android kids. Nobody uses it on PC. That's probably why it's broken. They fucked something up. I don't really have any other games to test right now, so I don't know how to fix this. Apparently they have something on their GitHub. I'm gonna look for that. This is such a pain in the ass. Update stuff and it stops working. Why? They make it worse. No, there's no solution, of course. Come on, somebody have the answer. It's just completely soft-locked. Why is this a problem with everything? Don't fucking update if you're gonna make it worse. Doesn't matter, I can't get into the game. Come on, just get into the game, please. The fuck is this broken? Yes, load the fucking data! What the fuck is wrong with this thing? Yes, load! Loading complete, and then it doesn't do anything. No! What the fuck? What the fuck did I do? What? Let's just break something that worked fine before. I swear, this thing is cursed. Why is it working now? Now I have to test if my innocence one is fucked. I don't know. Oh, man. It's like the development for this emulator is like Windows. Like Windows like restarts itself. It like restarts itself and updates, and then all of a sudden your shit doesn't work anymore. I've had that happen to me countless times. It's the worst thing as a content creator. Like you're getting ready to do a sponsored stream and Windows updates itself, and then your sound doesn't work anymore. Alright, can I play the game now? Alright. I can't even... Something I pushed made it go into the emulator. Go into the... Come on! Dude! What the fuck is wrong with this, man? Just work, dude! Come on. Oh, you can do that, but you can't load the fucking save. Look at this, I'm clicking on it, nothing happens. How did I get in there that one time? Come on! Load! What did I click to get off that? What the hell is wrong? It's... Let me show you guys this right here. This is what's even more cursed. Let me Let me pull this up really quick. I guess I'm just not doing any Vita stuff for a while. I don't know if it's like a Windows update or what, but they screwed something up. Let me pull this up. You guys can see a little bit of what's going on. Give me a sec. I pulled this up here. Earlier, it was saying that the save could not be found, which makes no sense because the hearts file loaded. But this kept saying that the save couldn't be found. So this is they pulled a Microsoft. Yeah, see right here? It says it's missing a file. If it's missing, then why am I in the game right now? The save's right there. Well, I think for the sake of my sanity, I won't be doing any Vita content for a while. Good lord, man, why is that so difficult? Alright, let me just see if this works really quick, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed. Makes no damn sense. Like, what the fuck is wrong with it? It's like it's unresponsive. It doesn't work properly. Alright. Alright, how does this look? This look good? Yeah, I can't explain that. I can't explain that, but seems like they pulled a Windows update with a Vita emulator somehow, and you update it, and then your shit stops working. But yeah, I guess I just won't be doing any Vita stuff for a while. I kind of wanted to work on my Heart Tsar stuff, but if I'm gonna have to do that ritual every time just to get the damn save to load, I think for the sake of my sanity and my mental health, I should not do that. That's really weird, man. I can't even begin to explain why that's happening. Oh, well, I left a message in their Discord. No Vita Tales until that's fixed, because it took like 15 minutes to get into the game, which is completely dumb. Like the lossless scaling worked fine, but the emulator stopped working, and like the lossless scaling is supposed to be harder to stream, because when you use lossless scaling and you just use your normal game capture source, it does not show the generated frames. Like, for instance, the only reason I use it on Zenless Zone Zero is because, at least on my computer, when I try to go above 60 FPS in that game, it stutters like crazy. So I lock it to 60 and then use lossless scaling for 120. But if I use lossless scaling, and I don't actually use lossless scaling as a source, you guys get a really crappy window capture. So lossless scaling's been fine tonight. It's been that fucking Vita emulator is like possessed or something. That's kind of a bummer. I wanted to do a little content for that leading up to Graces, but if it's going to be that jacked up, I think it's better that I just don't. Because let's be honest, anything I make for that game is not gonna it's not gonna make me a millionaire. There'll be a couple people interested in Tales on my channel that will watch it, and that's it. So sorry to end the stream on a bad note. I definitely handled the frustration pretty well, I'd say, but that shit doesn't make any fucking sense. I have no idea why. The problem with the Vita emulator is that they try to support the Android one, and the Windows one the Windows and Linux ones have gotten like kind of left behind, which is funny because the most demanding inconsiderate people in there are the Android kids. Android kids means people that only have a phone and they only want to play it on there. It feels like they cater to them a little bit too much. I'm like, the emulator has been missing key features for like a really long time. It's very far behind even like the Switch emulation. And like every time they update it, it seems to be bug fixes, but I guess next time that they get it working, I'm just like not gonna update that damn thing. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with it. I thought maybe it was like lossless scaling or something, but I'm like, no, that shouldn't be the problem. And then the terminal was telling me that the save was not there. I'm like, well, if the save for Hearts is there, then the save for Innocence has to be there, just by default. I haven't done anything major to the computer. Why would the save not be there? I have no fucking idea. Anyway, I'm gonna do a Christmas stream. Probably after I have lunch. I gotta go walk to the store and grab lunch. Probably around noon, because I don't know when they close. And after that, we'll do a Christmas stream, and it'll be tech support free. I definitely want to do some Crimson Tears and some Rebirth, because I didn't get to that this stream. So that'll probably be the next stream. And last time I streamed from the deck and the capture card, it worked fine. I just had some problems with the sound, so hopefully I can get that working with minimal frustration. I can't even begin to describe how annoyed I am that they fucking updated the emulator and broke everything. It's like, that's what happens to content creators, right? You go to bed, you leave your computer on, or you go out somewhere, school, work, whatever, you come back, Windows updated itself, and then like your whole streaming setup doesn't work anymore. Now, I've been relatively free of that. The last time that happened to me on a major basis was like years ago, but I decided to update Vita 3K and everything just fucking broke. Also, my Ryujinx is broken too, because I guess the server doesn't work anymore, so I'm gonna have to set that up. So I will do that, and then maybe we'll do Astral Chain and then some PS2 stuff later today. Good night, everybody. Thanks for helping with the tech support.